Jerry Sandusky is known as the architect of Penn State football's powerhouse defense. But the former defensive coordinator may become even better known now for allegations of sexual abuse with 8 young boys over a 15-year period. Sandusky's attorney asserts that his client is innocent and will fight the charges. More startling, Sandusky worked with underprivileged children through a foundation that he started named Second Mile.
Children that are troubled or have a disadvantaged background, they're going to be more vulnerable.
They say it's not the crime that creates trouble, it's the cover-up. But sometimes it's both, as with the pedophilia epidemic in the Catholic Church and the attempt to hide it, and now a narrower but deeply troubling scandal at a distinguished American university. What kind of person knows about the abuse of children and does not do everything to stop it? Well, tonight, fingers are pointing at a man millions long considered a symbol of decency. Here's ABC's Dan Harris.
Tonight, an extraordinary show of support for Joe Paterno, the embattled Penn State legend. His house mobbed by hundreds of students, linking arms, chanting and singing.
For the glory of State.
We're Penn State. I'm proud of you folks. I'm proud of you. I've always been proud of you.
We're proud of you.
We love you, Joe! That Joe Paterno is fighting for his job tonight is an epic reversal of fortune for a man who built Penn State into a national brand, charging to victory under the motto of success with honor. A man now possibly about to be cast aside by the very institution he transformed. All for what he did or did not do when alerted to child sex abuse.
After more than 6 decades at Penn State, after 45 years as the head coach, one of the most revered figures in all of college sports. And respected. This, you know, if this were happening, Robin, to a coach with a different kind of reputation, it would be a very different kind of story. So much of the anger and disappointment is the result of the fact that people expect more from Joe.
This scandal isn't about football, and it should have never been about preserving the legacy of an iconic coach. Believe it or not, a lot of people wanted to see Paterno lead his team onto the field one last time this Saturday, despite everything that's gone on the last several days. But one thing that seems to have gotten lost in all of this is the victims and their families, people that have forever had their lives ruined because Paterno failed to do the right thing.
I love you all. You're great.
What do you want to say to Penn State?
Tomorrow we'll talk a little bit.
Why did you guys come out? What do you want to say to Penn State?
Because I want to say hello to all these great students who I love. You guys are great. All of you. When I say guys, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, girls too. All right. Hey, look, get a good night's sleep. All right. Study. All right. We still got things to do. All right. I'm out of it maybe now. A phone call to put me out of it, but we'll go from here, okay? Hey, good luck, everybody. Hey, thanks for coming.
What's this day been like for you?
Who is more powerful than Joe Paterno?
Paterno's legacy.
It's the fate of Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno. He's been the head coach at Penn State for 46 years, but tonight, Joe Paterno is officially done.
A lot of students are realizing that due to the national media coverage, there's been a huge oversight of the victims and their families in all of this. And I think students are starting to get very, very frustrated that this is more than about a football program or a coach. This is about the victims and finding justice for them at the end of the day. And the students have started to plan programs. I know this Friday we're doing a candlelight vigil to honor and remember the victims and just widespread sexual abuse. And I know Saturday was supposed to be a whiteout, and it's a huge thing for the Penn State student body to participate in a whiteout at a football game. And the students actually rallied to get it changed to a blue out to raise awareness for sexual and child abuse.
Wow. So
So what is the perception there on campus? Because what we've been seeing are these protests and these rallies out in front of Joe Paterno's house, and people, high-fiving him and trying to hug him and yelling out, we're for you, coach. So that's what most of America is seeing, TJ. So if you were to look at, we're looking actually at some video from Paterno's house with everybody cheering and their hands up in the air. Are you telling me there's students in there that are extremely upset with Joe Paterno and see a different side to this?
I absolutely do. I think the emotions kind of run the gamut in terms of Joe Paterno. I think the university officials in general, I think a lot of students obviously are in support of Joe Paterno, but I also think a lot of students are realizing that there may be more to this story than we realized. And at the end of the day, fundamentally, what matters most is that justice is found for the victims and their family, and they can truly find some closure after all of this.
Unfortunately, I think the focus has been removed. I mean, Joe Pa has been the focus for the past couple of days, but, we have to remember that Jerry Sandusky, who's at the center of this, is still roaming around State College out on bail. I think that's something that's often forgot. So, I would like to make sure, and I think a lot of the students are a little upset that maybe everyone else around the country and around the world are perhaps losing sight of the crux of this issue.